About 1 million people visit Aruba every year. Most of them spend their entire trip within 2 miles of their hotel. That's a defensible choice. The western coast is genuinely beautiful and the weather is consistent in ways that almost nothing else in the Caribbean can match. But the Aruba most visitors experience is a curated version of the island. The actual island is stranger, more varied, and considerably more interesting. This guide covers 10 things to do in Aruba that most tourists never find, and number 1 has a story attached to it that will change the way you see this place. Aruba sits 17 miles off the coast of Venezuela, just outside the hurricane belt. That's why the weather works. Trade winds running consistently from the east, almost no rainfall, temperatures that barely move between January and December. The island is 20 miles long and 6 miles wide. You could drive every road on it in a single afternoon. Most visitors don't. They arrive, they find the beach, find the water, and reasonably stay. These 10 stops are the argument for leaving the beach, at least for a day. Number 10, Alto Vista Chapel on the northern coast. This requires a drive up a road that gets progressively dustier and narrower until a bright yellow building appears against a sky that has no business being that shade of blue. The original chapel here was built by a Spanish missionary in 1750. The current structure dates to 1952. No gift shop, no entrance fee, no crowd. A hilltop position on the northern coastline with views that take in the full width of the island and ocean on both sides. Number 9 is not a destination, it's a drive. The northern coastline is entirely different terrain from the resort side. Volcanic rock, wind that genuinely pushes back, waves that hit the shore with enough force, you feel it through your feet. No chairs, no vendors, no beach. In 2005, Aruba's famous natural bridge collapsed. It had stood for centuries. The smaller Baby Bridge next to it still stands. Drive the north coast from the California Lighthouse east. 40 minutes, bring water, no facilities out here, that's the point. Number 8 is Casibari, a field of enormous diorite boulders, some of them 4 stories high, scattered across the central island. Cut into the base of several boulders are ancient petroglyphs, left by the Kikitio people, the indigenous Arawakan community who lived on this island for roughly 1,000 years before European contact. A set of stairs and ladders winds through the rocks to a summit with a clear view across the entire interior. Most people drive past it on the main highway. There's no good reason to miss this. At number 7, Aruba has a wild donkey problem, depending on your perspective. Donkeys were brought to the island by the Spanish in the 1500s for mining and transportation. When that work ended, they were released. They've been free roaming ever since, and for centuries they were hit by cars, denied water, and treated as a nuisance. A local family started the sanctuary in 1997, and today it's home to over 130 donkeys that walk up to you, demand attention, and have strong opinions about whether you're holding food. It is completely ridiculous and absolutely worth your time. At number 6, the Spanish Lagoon is on the southern coast, a protected mangrove inlet that most visitors drive over on the highway without realizing it exists below them. Kayak rentals are available at the waterfront. The mangrove channels are narrow enough in places that the branches close overhead. Flamingos feed here in the early morning. The water is calm, shallow, and completely different from anything on the western coast. Birders know this spot. Almost nobody else does. A 2-hour kayak through the channels here is the quietest 2 hours you'll find on the island. I'm Mike, by the way. This is Beyond Home Travel. If this is helping you plan, subscribe now. We release destination guides consistently, making sure you don't miss the top highlights of your trip. Number 5 is Hooiberg, the volcanic peak at the center of the island, 541 feet high with 562 concrete steps built straight up the face of it. The name is Dutch for haystack, which describes the shape from the highway. The climb takes 20 minutes at a reasonable pace. From the top, you get both coasts simultaneously. The resort strip to the west, the rough eastern coastline to the right, Venezuela 17 miles south on a clear day. There is almost never a crowd at the top. Number 4 is San Nicolas, the port town in the south that most visitors pass on the highway. San Nicolas has the best street art on the island, a concentrated mural district that turned a post-refinery town into something that now gets compared to Wynwood in Miami. More importantly, it has zero-overs. A fish shack where the catch comes in around noon and gets fried right in front of you. No printed menu, you point. About $8 for more food than you can finish. The drive's 20 minutes and the experience is completely different than anything the resort offers. Number 3 is Savoneta, the oldest continuously inhabited settlement on the island on the southeastern coast, about 15 minutes south of the main resort area. What's here? Fishing boats, a handful of waterfront restaurants, and the quiet version of island life that the western coast does not offer. The water in Savoneta Bay is shallow and glassy. The restaurants are mostly local, inexpensive, and the kind of place where nobody's performing for tourists. If you want to understand the island before hotels arrived, this is where you start. Order whatever the kitchen recommends, it's usually the right answer. Number 2 requires a caveat. Renaissance Island is technically a private island, accessible by boat from the Renaissance Aruba resort, but day passes are available to non-guests for about $100 per person. That gets you onto a beach with flamingos, pink flamingos, that walk into the water, wait alongside you, occasionally investigate your bag, and by all accounts, are completely relaxed about sharing a beach with humans. These birds go where they want. They happen to want this lagoon. If that sounds engineered for Instagram, it is, but the thing itself is genuinely extraordinary. The lagoon is calm, the flamingos are real, and the $100 is well worth it. And now, number 1 is the Antilla. Here's the story. In May 1940, Germany invaded the Netherlands. At that moment, a German merchant freighter called the Antilla was sitting in Aruba's harbor. The Dutch colonial authorities ordered the captain to surrender the vessel. He refused. Rather than hand over his ship, he ordered the crew to scuttle it, opening the seacocks and deliberately sinking the Antilla in 60 feet of water just off the northwestern coast. The ship is 440 feet long, making it the largest shipwreck in the Caribbean. It's been underwater for 84 years. Coral has colonized the hull, fish swim through the corridors. The upper sections, the bridge, the deck structures, are shallow enough to snorkel without a tank. Most dive shops on the island can get you there in under 30 minutes. Here's what I want you to understand about the scale. When you approach the hull underwater, it doesn't look like a boat anymore. It looks like a reef, like something the ocean built. You come around a section and realize you're looking at a bridge window and a ship's railing and 84 years of coral growth simultaneously. The whole thing is enormous. Most people who visit Aruba don't even know it's there. Every single one of them should. Most of what makes Aruba memorable happens away from the beach. That's the honest version of this island. If this guide helped you plan your trip, subscribe now. New destination guides come out regularly. We'll see you on the next adventure beyond home.